What's up, guys? Welcome to Carl's Body Shop. Nah, that's a story for another day. Anyway, what the hell are we working on in the background? Let's check it out. Bunch of junk as usual. So, does anybody notice anything different here? I'm sure you probably do, because I'm sure there's going to be something in the title about what the hell is going on with this dump. So yeah, anyway, yeah, we kind of did a redneck job of mini-tubbing this thing. I'm not the best sheet metal worker in the world. However, this didn't cost me a freaking penny, other than some electricity and welding wire and gas and you know, calories and all that. Had more, I think I had more beer in it than I did anything else. But anyway, so this project is to do this one. You know, none of this stuff is usually really pretty. Let's take a look. This took me, I don't know, it was probably about 6 or 7 hour job. Basically, cut the wheel tub right there, cut it inside, moved it in, put a patch. This is the old piece of the hood off the International when the Detroit diesel was in there. I cut a strip off of that for the 3-inch piece instead of buying the $300 actual wheel tub kit for this, which basically does the same thing. And the underside of it came out very well. I'm super happy. I mean, with some chip guard over this, I mean, this thing will look super nice. So I did a pretty good job. You know what? This would probably cost to do mini tubs. Who knows what it would cost to have a pro do it. Probably at least a few $1,000, probably a couple grand, easy. But this here, nobody's ever gonna see any of this. This is all gonna be covered up. So you know what? Yeah, it's patched in a little bit because I don't really have the right tools to bend the metal the way it's supposed to be. But you know what? Never gonna see it. Yeah, basically mini tubbing. You see on the other side, there's about 3 inches or so, give or take, between the original wheel tub and the frame rail, and all you do is basically take this wheel tub and butt it right up clean against the frame rail, and there's your mini tub, and that typically gives you about 15 inches, give or take, from this to the inside. So we'll be narrowing eventually, probably about 500 years down the road, we'll be narrowing a rear end and putting these tires on it right here. These are 15-inch wide, 12-inch rims. Probably will run like 13-inch tire. This tire's garbage and I only have one anyway. But not the most ideal rims. I mean, they're pretty cool, but I'd rather have aluminum. But you know what? My dad gave these to me and they're the exact size I want to run on this car, so I may as well use them. Why not? First thing I gotta do is get this gas tank out of here and get rid of the gas, and that gas tank is full just about. So I got the filler neck off. That was easy, just pop that out. And now I just gotta drop it down, probably put some jacks under it and get it out of here, and then do something with the gas, and then we can start cutting away, hacking up this perfectly good Mopar. Alright, it's time to spill gas all over the place. Cause a big explosion. course, I already cut all the lines, so you wouldn't think I'd be anything other than 100% professional, right? That baby's got a lot of gas in it. We can't say that ain't the problem with this. Ain't got no gas in it. Because it's got gas in it. It's definitely got gas in it. Let's get this freaking thing out of here. This thing is stinking this whole garage up bad. Wow. It's actually sucks. Woo. Alright. Yeah, look at this. I mean, it ain't full, but it's got quite a bit in there. It's probably 3/4. See if we can get this shit in a container or something. Alright, let's see how much gas we can spill. There's one thing I can guarantee you though. This gas tank is better than one of them stupid government safety gas cans. I'd rather take this down to the gas station and get gas for the chainsaw. Wow. I'm not getting any younger, that's for sure. Man. Oh, this is going to make a mess. Woo! You know, that always happens every time. Every freaking time. Holy man. We're gonna freaking blow up in here. Alright, well, you know, that happens every time I do this. You know, you look at it 1 second, it's down here, and then 2 drops later, it shit's overflowing. Oh, great. Alright, well, hopefully, I'm sure that'll just evaporate. Maybe we'll burn it off. Let's do something nice for the old man. He'll appreciate this. You know, this gas isn't this old in this either. Yeah, my dad will appreciate this. Always makes you feel good to be able to do something nice for your parents. Kind of be a surprise. I'll see him tomorrow at the body shop and he'll be like, wow, some fairy must have came and filled my car up with gas yesterday. I guess it's about Christmas time, so it's the time of the year to do something nice for people, so why not? I literally just filled my car up today, so I don't really need this. Alright, there's 5 gallons there. Garage. Let's see how much more we can get out of that thing. There's got to be another at least 3 gallons in there. Those tanks aren't that big in these cars anyway. Oh. Alright. Yeah, it's pretty gassy smelling in here. That's for sure. Alright. Round 2 on my back. Yeah, there's still quite a bit in here. So for anybody that's wondering, that might be confused, I don't know, so this garage here, I built this garage about 15 years ago or so. This is actually a carport that I had put up, just the roof, and then I put the sides on it and basically built everything else. And this is on my parents' land, which is pretty much my land too. And the new pole barn is kind of set up like this, but it's bigger, obviously. And that's on my land I just bought about a year ago. So I've been working out of this garage for a long time. So that's why, like, you know, it'll be nice to upgrade. It'll really be nice to upgrade to the bigger garage, but you know, this garage here, over the years I've insulated it so good that, I mean, it's like 35 degrees out right now, and this thing here, I mean, I don't have a thermometer anymore, but you know, this little heater here, and occasionally I'll kick the electric one on every now and then, but this thing here keeps it just nice in here. I got that insulation board with regular fiberglass insulation, and I got fiberglass insulation in all the walls, and behind the tin is foam insulation like that, and then fiberglass in front of that. So I mean, this place here, you can heat it with a candle, but as you can see, it's quite small compared to the new garage. And so I mean, it's nice to have your own place. I mean, this is my own place. I do whatever I want. You know, I mean, I've been here for years working out of this garage. But it's cool having your actual own place. But yeah, that's kind of the lowdown on, you know, this garage and the new pole barn. You know, some people might be like, oh, why is he building a pole, like a pole barn that he calls new when he's already been working out of a garage? I don't know, whatever. It don't matter, but that's the story behind it. Let's go put the rest of this gas in this car. Oh yeah, there's easily another 3 gallons in there, so I'm gonna go put this in. Well, I wouldn't recommend trying this at home, but this is really the only way to get rid of gas smell in a garage with a stone floor, is to burn it out. Otherwise, you're gonna smell this shit for weeks and weeks and weeks. Look at it. So we got a couple fire extinguishers right readily available, so don't you worry or nothing. We got it all under control here. We're just gonna let this crusher run gas burn out of this shit, and it'll eventually go out, and then we ain't gotta smell this crap for the next 3 weeks in here. All right, now it's time to get this old exhaust out of here. Got just the tool for that. There. That's how a man does it. Woo, look at that. Man, look how rotted that is. You know what, guys? Change of plans. I'm just gonna send this rotted out piece of shit right to the junkyard. Look at that. What a piece of junk. Alright, now that I got the exhaust out of this, I got the brake line. I don't know if I'm gonna run a new brake line or not. I'm gonna see what happens, but I got that unclipped, just hanging out of the way. Got everything out of the way to start construction. So, basically the not so fun stuff starts. Come around here with a little chisel and get all this old seam sealer out. Basically this thing's gonna get cut about 3/4 of an inch from the wall here, all the way around. So all this seam sealer's got to come out all the way back through, and it comes off pretty easy for the most part, but there's a few spots that don't like to come off. All right, now that I got all this crap chipped out of here, it's time to start cutting. So I'm gonna do this side a little different. And this side, I cut this wheel tub right here. Basically cut it right here. That was kind of a mistake after I got it done. So on this side, I'm actually gonna cut the floor. Of course, this ain't gonna work on dust. I'm gonna cut the floor right there, right up through. And this piece here is basically right there is going to be where it ends up, but I'm going to zip it off right about there to give myself plenty of room to work with. And then that'll be reattached like that one. And then what I'm going to do is run a piece of 3/4 inch tape, and this wheel tub on the top is going to get cut right up that line. And then we'll pop that out, and that should be the start of the trimming process. This thing all cut, so now it's time to get it out of there. Well, I guess it's gonna go out through the inside, or the outside, or the bottom, whatever you want to call it. There she is. Okay, so quick recap of what needs to be done now. So now, all these spot welds on this strip, and these and that, all need to be drilled out, and this strip here needs to come off. And after that, now you can really start to see on what the mini tub process does. So this is where the original wheel well was. So now we're going to cut everything right flush to the frame right here. So this whole strip right here is 2.5 inches or so is going to disappear. And then basically we're just going to cut this back, kind of follow the same shape all the way through, and then just get our piece, and it's basically that easy to do the sheet metal work to do a mini tub. The more complicated stuff comes to moving the spring perches in. Basically you get a kit that you cut this out and it moves the spring in right underneath the frame rail right here. But that's not going to be getting done anytime soon. I'm basically just doing this for now and saving up my pennies to buy the kit I need to do this. So, alright, let's get everything cleaned up. Alright, so now it's time to get these spot welds off and get this little strip of metal off of here. So, the easiest way to find spot welds is just run a grinder over it quick. And then, I guess you kind of got to have an eye for it, but you can kind of see one's there, 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 and there. And then there's a couple different ways you could do this. You get a good drill bit, drill right in the middle of the spot weld, usually comes off. Or what I'm doing on this is I'm just grinding it down and then just getting my flat chisel thing behind it and just popping them off. So I'll demonstrate one, and then that's pretty much how they're all done. Basically, depending on the project that you're doing, sometimes it works better to drill them, sometimes it works better to do this. If you're reusing the panel that you're taking off, like say this was still on the car, I would be drilling them out. But since I'm throwing this out anyway, this is much easier than drilling them doing this. So if you're saving the panel that you're drilling through, or whatever I'm trying to say, the drill is definitely the better way to go. Pops right off. And then if you work your way down the line, you can kind of, if you're not sure where one is, you just kind of work your way down. So now I know my next one is right here. They also make a special tool for this, a spot weld. It's like a spot weld cutter. It's like a little hole saw kind of. But my experience with those tools is they're expensive and they're really not worth the money. Kinda having a hard time finding this one. There it is. But yeah, this is time consuming, but there's really no other way to get these things off. It's just, you just have to take the spot welds off and unhook it. I mean, that's really the only thing you got. So I'm gonna do this strip, I'm gonna do these pieces, do all that, get all this crap cleaned up, and go on to the next step. There we go. We got our inner wheel tub all prepped. Let's flip it over. That worked real good. Got all the spot welds cut out of it. Got it all ground. Basically ready to... This part here is pretty much done. So now it's time to cut this. This is going to be a little bit more of a pain in the butt. So basically what I'll do is I'll start from underneath. I'll just kind of bore through with the angle grinder, like right there in the center and then in the back, and then I'll put a piece of tape kind of connecting the dots, and then it'll be so much easier just to cut it from up here. You know, because it's hard to get the angle grinder in down there. Basically, after that's cut, then it's time to fit the tub in, and, you know, basically, you know, I'll have to kind of trim sort of like that, you know, basically just put the tub in there and just kind of keep trimming out a little bit, pretty much until you get where you're happy with it, and then weld it in. Well, about an hour's worth of grinding and cutting and fitting. Finally got this wheel tub ready to go back in. Got everything all ground, ready to screw it all up. Got the opening cut, nice and round. See, it's only sheet metal, so it ain't gotta be perfect. You can kind of push it into place as you go. Kind of mimic this side a little bit, doing this side here a little different, but it's pretty much the same thing. I got the trunk hinge kind of cut, might have to trim it again. Got it a little bit long. If it works, it works. If not, I'll cut it again, but it's not like you could just water it and grow it longer. Got everything all ground up in there. And the front side, got all that all nice and trimmed back, ready to go. Got everything ready to go up here. I'll just do a quick little demonstration. You're not gonna see what I'm seeing kind of thing, but you'll kind of get the gist of it. I'll put it up here and kind of hold it. Something like that. Just so you know, I held that wheel tub up there just so you guys can see what it looks like. So I'll be expecting the gratuity in my PayPal account this week. Thank you very much. But yeah, it's time to put that in there and throw a few tack welds on it, make sure I'm happy with it, and then move on to the strip in the center to connect the two together. Yeah, buddy, who's ready to see this butcher job? Oh, yeah. It's coming out pretty good, though. Kind of working it. I tell you what, I definitely learned a lot from doing the last one. First mini tub I ever did. So there's a lot to learn when you do this kind of stuff. Just got to make a patch for there, just like I did on that side. You can kind of see it. But this side is definitely going together much easier because I kind of already know what I'm doing. So very happy with it so far. I got some kinks up there. I'm just going to kind of keep pushing down. I got this big pry bar right here. I'm just going to keep pushing the metal down as I go and just keep working it and hammering it and welding, and eventually it'll get there. So we'll keep on keeping on. So boys, answer me one question. Who buys a $400 GoPro to make videos like this that suck? And they suck even more as they progress. They who watch my videos can attest that they suck at the beginning and then they just suck more as the sucking goes on. Alright, anyway. So as you can see, I only have this little square left. Well, it's actually a rectangle. See, I went to Holland Patton Central High School District, so I don't know the difference between a rectangle and a square. But anyway, so yeah, I got that one left, and just a little wedge piece there. And then I have to weld on the trunk hinge and get that straightened out. But all is going pretty well. Got some really fantastic bubblegum welds up there because I can't get the welder in there that good, but it's gonna look good when it's done anyway. But yeah, it's coming out good. Just gotta finish welding a bunch of stuff and we are in good shape. I've decided these things right here, these braces, can't get over there with anything. These braces right here, these are gonna go. They're gonna get out of here because I'm putting a roll cage in this car, and the roll cage, I'm not sure exactly where at this point, but I believe on the last duster I had, it was right there somewhere. It's like the back two that came down, they went like right there, and those are gonna be in the way. And plus with the roll cage and the frame, the subframe connectors I'm going to put on this, there's no need for a little piece of sheet metal that's going to do a little bit of bracing. So those are going to come out. And, well, that one's already out. Got to take that one out. That one's like almost out. But yeah, so this is coming along really good. A little bit better than the other side, but still the same crappy work as the other side. So at least the crappiness is consistent. So let's get to work and get this thing buttoned up. Well, here we are about 4 hours later. And finally got it freaking done. Well, it's not done, but it's closer to getting done. I'm gonna do a little bit of Duraglassing and some body work back here at some point to hide the ugliness. It's really not that bad, you know. I don't know, it's so different when you look at something on camera versus real life. I'm looking at it through the camera lens and it's like, ugh. But then I look at it in real life and it looks pretty good. So, honestly, some chip guard over it or some undercoating or something, you know, would probably make it look good. this side here. The only thing with this side is I kind of screwed up there where it's wrinkled on that corner. I kind of didn't really interpret how the metal was going to bend at first, and then, you know, I kind of thought that I could heat it up, and it turned into a shit show, but whatever. Kind of sucks because this is where you're going to look at it, right here where we are. And I definitely have to do something about that mess. Okay. Get in there so you can see it a little better, but this side I have no complaints about. This side came out great. I figured out what I did wrong. I mean, that was the first one, you know. No matter what you do, the second one you do usually comes out better. So take a little look on the inside here. It looks pretty darn good. I mean, I got underneath and tried to do everything all nice. You know, trying to grind everything good and try to do a nice job. I mean, I am no, you know, pro sheet metal. Some of them guys will make patches that just fit right in here. I mean, what a lot of people do when they mini tub is they'll completely cut all this right out, and they'll either make or just buy an aftermarket complete wheel tub. But this is kind of I don't want to say it's half-assed, because you basically get the same result. I mean, the only thing you gain with the aftermarket ones is like stuff like this, you know, and then like you see up here where it kind of goes in. But I'm not looking to race this car ever. I just like the looks of it. So I'm not looking to fit the biggest tire I could possibly get under. You know, I mean, of course I'm gonna want the biggest tire I can get under this, but I'm not like, it's not like, you know, every half-inch matters. So big deal, I gotta settle with a 13-inch wide instead of a 13.5. I mean, you know, who cares as far as what I'm doing, something that's not gonna be raced at all. So I'll live with whatever I can get under this. The only reason I'm doing this is because I like the way a mini tub duster looks. I mean, look at that wheel. I'd put that wheel under there and show you guys, but there's no way that it'll go in unless the leaf spring or this is gone. So you know, I mean, we're a long ways away from that. So yeah, I tell you what, the rear ends come out of these so easy. It's so freaking tempting to pull, you know, drop one side of that and see if I can get that tire in there, just because I really want to see what the hell it looks like. But I don't feel like screwing around with it. That's a lot just to see what it looks like. I mean, it'll get there soon enough, but... So the next thing that has to be done on this is I need to get the spring relocation kit, which basically you move this. I'm sure I already said this in the video, but you move this part right here. It's the whole thing. You cut this out and put it in, and then their spring is basically right under the frame. And then I'll get I already have, I'm either going to use an 8 3/4 axle, which I already have, and I already redid, but it came out of a B body, and I didn't realize it until I actually already done it. So that's sandblasted, painted, ready to go, but it's wider, so I don't know if I'm going to cut that down or just get a Ford 9-inch and cut it down, but that's way down the road yet. So, but yeah. And for all you professional body men out there that said, why did you seam seal that? You don't need seam sealer on that. You welded it solid. Well, I did a customer car, and you know, I had to do a quarter panel on it a few weeks ago, and I had some seam sealer left, and seam sealer does not last that long. Like, you might get a couple weeks tops out of it, and it was already kind of chunky when I first started. So you know what? I had it. That shit's expensive. I think it's like 25 bucks a tube, little caulk gun tube. So it's pretty expensive for what you get. And I figured, you know what? Why not? It's better than going to waste. So I just kind of kept doing a little bit on each side so it would be uniform until I ran out. But I actually had enough to do all that on each side. So I mean, that's perfect. That's exactly And it's not the best job in the world, but once I spray some chip guard over it, this is all Rust-Oleum that I did the front with. I'm going to put a couple heavy coats of Rust-Oleum over this whole thing. And probably like from here back over the, you know, that I'm going to probably get some green paint, the paint that I'm going to paint the car with. Cheaper green. But, and paint this whole entire trunk area and the back, what you're going to see here, all green. So my plans, here we go rambling again. My plans are not to put a back seat in this car. I want to put a roll cage in it, 6-point roll cage, and just make a wall back here. My purple duster I used to have when I was in high school had that. Somebody did a really good job bead rolling a nice thing, and it had the Mopar Pentagon in it and everything. The roll cage went through it. It was not mini tubbed, but man, I wish I could actually do exactly what that was. I don't think I have any pictures of that car.
True love, this ain't me right here, so I'm gonna leave you. Can be with someone.
But that was done wicked nice, and there's no point in having a back seat in this for what I'm gonna do. At any rate, well, it's a shame Carl never showed up to work and got fired. Friggin' Carl, you know, never shows up to work. I was supposed to have this done in a day, and it took me 4 days. It took me 1 day to move, because this car was facing the other way. It took me well, not day, like after work, obviously. Took me one night to get it moved around, get it up on jack stands, and then 3 nights to do just this one mini tub. So I would say it went pretty smooth. I think I spent like 4 nights on that one because I was totally in the blind, had no idea what I was getting into. This one here, I knew exactly what I did wrong on that side. I did this side a little different, and just wicked happy with the results, man. Just, I can't wait till this car is done. I love this car. Someday, man, someday. I've been working on this thing for like, I've owned the car for 10 years. I've been working on it for probably 7 or 8. I finally decided just to start restoring it. And one thing led to another, and now it's just a shell. And there's just one more thing that I want to add in here that I've been wanting to add in like the last 10 video clips, and I kept forgetting. And I don't know how I forgot, but I just remembered when I just tripped over this jack handle and almost killed myself walking over here. So that was a good remembrance to put this in. Anyway, before I did any cutting, well, let's back up here. So my jack stands are right there on this car. So basically from there back was just hanging weight. So before I did any cutting of anything in here, I put this jack on the back of this, under the support, under the frame rail. I didn't jack up 18,000 tons with it. All I did was just took a little bit of weight off of the car. Because these unibody cars, everything you see is part of the structure. The wheel tubs, windshield glass, everything you see is part of the structure of the car. And when you're cutting something like this apart, it's a good idea to kind of have everything just relaxed and just kind of happy like it's sitting. So I mean, that, you know, I don't know if it's necessary, but what's it gonna hurt? You know, 2 seconds worth of work and tripping over it and busting your head open on accident. I walked right over here I got the exhaust fan in the window, and wham, almost freaking lost it, man. Almost lost my doodles. But anyway, I just wanted to add that I thought that was a good idea personally, and just extra insurance that nothing's gonna move and everything's gonna stay nice and straight when you got it all cut apart. All right, guys, well, thanks for watching. You know, I know my channel doesn't do much with car stuff, but I'm sure some car people will probably watch this video if you're still watching it, listening to my mouth, and have at it. You know, I appreciate you watching, but I see there's really not that many videos on how to mini tub a duster, because before I started this project, I was like looking everywhere, and there's a few here and there of, you know, bits and pieces. And yeah, this is a bits and pieces video. This is not a how-to video because, again, for the millionth time, I am not a professional metal worker, and I'm not going to sit here and tell somebody this is how you do it, because I can tell you, you know, all you keyboard cowboys and people that are going to blow up the comments and say what a crappy job I did. Well, guess what? I am not a sheet metal worker. However, this costed me about probably 50 bucks between welding wire, gas, and electricity. It cost me like 50 bucks. So you know what? Doing it myself, 50 bucks. I mean, this would cost who knows how much to have it done professionally. And you know what? By the time it's done, nobody's going to notice the difference anyway. And I'm happy with it. That's all that matters. On a positive note, I really appreciate everybody watching this video. And if you stuck around for the 100th time, thanks for sticking around. Do yourself a favor, subscribe to this cockamamie asinine channel so you might see some other garbage come up in the future that I don't know what I'm doing. But it's fun. It's cool. Hope you had fun watching. Take care. We'll see you in the next video. Peace.